Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at some shoes from Tropicfeel. In this video we're going to be covering their Sunset shoes and their Canyon shoes. And I've been curious to try out shoes from this company for a while as I really like the aesthetics of their shoes, but also they seem to offer a lot of features that would make them great for travel. As a minimal traveler, I'm always looking for ways to reduce the amount of items that I take with me on a trip, and shoes are something that takes up a ton of space and weight, so I was very excited to put these to the test. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what it's been like to use these over the past month, and also how these compare to some of the other shoes that I normally like to travel with. Before jumping into the video, I want to thank the company for sending the shoes for me to test out. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Danny, and on this channel we love reviewing popular travel and everyday carry gear. If you like these types of videos and you'd be interested in seeing more, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out a lot. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Starting off with the overall aesthetic, I really like how both models of the shoes look. Here I have the Sunset shoes and the Canyon shoes, and they have what to me seem like very kind of classic silhouettes. So the Canyon shoes look like a minimalist sneaker or trainer, and then you have the Sunsets, which have more of that kind of Converse or Stan Smith Adidas style vibe. You know, these Sunset shoes are something that I could see myself wearing out at night, particularly in maybe a darker color with some jeans. The Canyon shoes are a little bit sportier looking, so they're not gonna match up quite as well with a nicer outfit, but depending on the type of trip that you're taking, that might not be as big of a deal. And so both styles of the shoes are offered in a few different colors. I have the black version of the Canyon shoes and the chip gray for the Sunset shoes. So really love the variety of colors that are offered. And one of the shoes that I'm going to be referencing a lot during this video is the Vessi Weekender shoe, which has been one of the other kind of travel focused shoes that I've really enjoyed using. These also have a minimal kind of sneaker van style almost that is something that I could see myself wearing casually with a lot of different outfits. And you know, I kind of compare it to the Sunset shoe in particular. They have a similar vibe. These are going to be a little chunkier. They're not quite as slim. They're also heavier. They're not going to pack down quite as nicely as these, but you know, they have a similar style of vibe. So I'll be referencing these a little bit as we go along. In general, I still prefer the look of the Sunset shoes a little bit more. It just matches up with my style a little bit more nicely, but both of them work well. And then moving into the comfort and the fit, I had a little bit of trouble determining which size would be best for me because I'm in between sizes. So I normally wear an 11.5, and on the site they offer 11 and 12. And so for the Sunset shoes, I ended up ordering them in an 11 and they fit very comfortably. So I actually sized down for these. And then for the Canyon shoes, I originally ordered the size 12. But they were a little bit big, they were loose on me, so I ended up asking for the size 11 as well, and these are a lot better. They're actually a little bit more snug than the Sunset, but both of them have felt very nice just right out of the box. They're really comfortable and soft. On the exterior, they have a recycled polyester for the upper, and then the outsole is an EVA foam. Both the upper and the outsole try to repurpose plastic water bottles, so I think the outsole is 20% recycled materials and the upper is 80% or something like that. So it's nice that they have some sort of sustainability built in. But the shoes, you know, they are very stretchy out of the box. This polyester has a nice amount of give, so it's easy to slip the shoes in and out. Another interesting feature with Tropicfeel shoes is these laces that they have that allow you to slip the shoes on without having to tighten them, but they still hold the shoe in place so you can walk around and not feel like they're gonna slip out. So I personally like these laces quite a bit, particularly since I ordered the shoes a little bit more snug. It just holds them in place very nicely and allows me to get them on quickly and easily. On the inside, they have this insole that feels nicely padded. They're pretty comfortable. I took the Sunsets to Mexico with me for a trip, and I was able to walk around all day without any issues. I didn't notice any fatigue. Of course, these aren't gonna feel like Ultra Boost or other sort of like really, you know, robust running shoes, but they were comfortable enough. On the bottom, they have a nice amount of grip. You can see they're a little bit dirty here, but I didn't see myself slipping on any of the areas that I was walking. So, you know, nice secure hold, comfortable on the outsole, and they felt really great without socks. That was one of the things I was most curious to put to the test, was the fact that these are meant to be odorless. Wearing shoes without socks, at least for me, always brings about a ton of odor. My feet sweat a lot, and I have to say I was very impressed with how much these shoes did not smell after wearing them for an entire day. You know, I could just take them off, let them air out, and the Age-On treatment, I believe it's called, that they have is meant to last the lifetime of the shoe, and it's performed very admirably so far on both models of the shoe. And you know, I've just been able to use them for a variety of activities and have been impressed how well they've performed and supported my feet. And then an interesting thing about the Sunsets in particular is that you can actually wear them as shoes or slippers, so the heel collapses, so you can just kind of tuck your feet in there if you don't feel like putting them all the way on, and then you can pull it out when you want a little bit more of a secure hold. This is also great for packing. I was actually able to toss these into my suitcase very easily. They didn't take up a ton of space, and they're also really, really light. And then the Canyon shoes are, of course, are going to be a little bit bulkier. They don't have that same collapsible heel, but you know, they're meant to be more of a running style shoe, so it's nice that they have that kind of more firm support for your ankle. So great experience walking with both of these so far. As far as the upper, one of the other things that's very interesting about the Tropicfeel shoes is that they're meant to get wet. So you're supposed to be able to jump into the water with them, into the pool, swim around, and then, you know, they're gonna air dry very quickly. And in my experience in Mexico, that was very true. I was walking around with them on the beach, going into a lot of different places, and they dried very quickly throughout the day. It wasn't really uncomfortable to walk around with the wet shoes. That's interesting to compare to the Vessi shoes, which have kind of a fundamentally different approach in general. The upper on the Vessis is completely waterproof. This is something I've shown off in a few different videos for the Vessis that I've done, so I'll make sure to link to the reviews that I've done in the description below. You can see some of the water tests that I've done, and it's always impressed me just how well these keep water out. Of course, that means you cannot go swimming with these shoes because water is going to get in, and even though they're fairly breathable, they're not going to dry nearly as quickly as these. So, you know, these are kind of complementary shoes in my opinion, in that they kind of offer different use cases. For my purposes, I kind of like having this ability for the shoes to dry a little bit quicker. And then beyond the ability to dry or repel water, as far as the comfort between the Vessi shoes and the Tropicfeel shoes, which I feel is probably going to be the question that a lot of people have, I personally found the Tropicfeel shoes to be just a little bit more comfortable. I liked the insole that they have. The Vessi sneakers are plenty comfortable as well, but for my foot, it just fit a little bit better, so that may vary depending on, you know, your type of foot. But overall, I would lean towards the Sunsets and the Canyons as far as comfort. And then one of the, you know, things that Tropicfeel lists in a lot of their materials is that this is meant to be kind of the one shoe that you can travel with. You could just use this for any purpose during your trip. Now, as somebody who's trying to travel more minimally, that sounds like a dream to be able to take one pair of shoes. I don't know that I'm quite there yet. I definitely took another pair of shoes to Mexico with me. I took a pair of Toms because to me they still offered a little bit of additional versatility, particularly if I wanted to dress them up. Even though Toms aren't dressy shoes, I feel like they match up with a pair of chinos pretty nicely, whereas these still look a little bit sportier than I was hoping for. These might not also fully replace a pair of really robust hiking boots if you're going to a trip where you're going to be doing a ton of extreme activities like that. But overall, I still think that this is going to greatly reduce the amount of shoes that I have to travel with. I've enjoyed testing them out so far, and I'm looking forward to taking them on additional trips to see if I can kind of get to that point where I may not need to take an extra pair with me. And so to wrap up, it's been a great experience testing out the Canyon and Sunset shoes from Tropicfeel over the past month, and you can currently purchase these on the company's site starting at about $100 to $120 depending on the model of shoe that you get. And this can be a little bit of an investment for a pair of shoes. You know, there's such a wide range of pricing for shoes, starting anywhere under $30 to over $500. You know, there's just such a wide range. For me, you know, it feels pretty reasonable considering the features that the shoes have to offer, also their aesthetics and just how, you know, versatile they're going to be for traveling. I purchased a lot of Adidas Ultra Boost, for example, that come in at $180, so it's nice that these are a little bit less than that, but they will be a little expensive for some people that are maybe used to being more in the $50 price range. So all that being said, I think it's a pretty reasonable price, especially compared to other similar items in this price range. And so as I was testing these out, this definitely made me think of the Vessi Cityscape sneakers and their Weekender shoe. We've talked about those on the channel in the past. I also showed them a little bit during the video. And the shoes, you know, have a fundamentally different approach to their feature set. Vessi shoes are all about being waterproof, keeping your feet dry, whereas these shoes are all about going into any environment and just drying really quickly. So they're pretty complementary in my opinion. They're so different. And those are just really great shoes. They've held up well over the time periods that I've been testing them out. I like the aesthetics of the Tropicfeel shoes a little bit more, but it is nice just how waterproof those Vessi shoes are. So depending on whether you prefer to keep your feet completely dry or if you want something that you can swim in, those are going to be a good option to check out. I also recommend taking a look at the video that I did for the Lems Chukka-Boot, which is another really comfortable travel shoe. Lems makes some really great barefoot style shoes, so they're really wide in the toe box, they're pretty flat, they're very lightweight, and it's nice that they can pack down pretty flat, especially for being a Chukka-Boot, which also offers a little bit more of a stylish look whenever you need to dress something up. So those have been great to use as well. Great build quality, similar price point. And you know, I'm also really a big fan of traveling with Toms. That's kind of my favorite versatile travel shoe. You see them in all my packing videos. I just toss them in because they take up almost no space and they work for a ton of different purposes. So I definitely recommend you check those out as well. And if there are any similar items that you think I should feature on the channel, other popular travel shoes, please let me know in the comments. And I want to thank the company again for sending these shoes for me to test out, and to you guys for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and we'll see you in the next one.